In a world of negativity making the rounds often, it is easy to ignore people doing amazing stuff. We at the Airmingle have embarked on a mission to retell stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things from all walks of life. From employees to CEOs, street hawkers to farm owners, we aim to highlight the importance of diligence and hard work to inspire generations to come. I am Hajara Masaga Al Hassan. Welcome to the Airmingle Interview. Hello, sir. Good morning. Thank you for joining me today on the Airmingle Interview.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir. You've had a very interesting and rewarding career in the banking industry. So, sir, tell us, how has it been?
Let me begin that everything is possible because of our Creator who created us and made things possible, and we thank Him for what He has done with our lives. And very early in life, I chose commercial education over science and what you can call the arts world. And so I followed to become a chartered accountant after graduation at the age of about 24, 25.
Amazing. That's a very young
and that gave me a boost in my career. And by the age of 33, I was already the financial controller of the conglomerate that is called New Nigeria Development Company, which is a giant company owned by the 19 northern states, just like what you have in the south, the Odua Group. And so my journey into finance started then with development finance. Then shortly after my sojourn in New Nigeria Development Company, I joined what was then Nile Merchant Bank and spent about 6-7 years before joining the project that was set up, the special purpose vehicle that was then called Jaiz International PLC in 2005, precisely on the 7th of July 2005. So I began Islamic finance from that period because of my interest mainly to do banking in an ethical and compliant manner.
As Nigerians, we are very controversial. Anytime you mention the word Jaiz Bank, what people see is an Islamization agenda of Nigeria. So I would like you to tell us a little bit more about the non-interest banking, aka Islamic banking. Is it an Islamization agenda?
I can say that all of this arose because of the fear of the unknown. People who should know refuse to understand that this is not ritual, or this is not an agenda. It is just an opportunity to provide an alternative banking platform, and it's available and it's being practiced in many countries, including those that are clearly not having Muslim population in that number. Nigerians that would prefer to do banking in that manner, that is banking which is devoid of interest, because of their moral and ethical calling, and to also for other persons to provide an alternative, because it is not banking meant for Muslims only, it is meant for all. It is about trading, it's about leasing what you do not have and paying later.
And without charging.
Exactly. It's what the common man used to do, because when you go to the shop nearby and you don't have money to buy what you want, and the shop owner believes in you that you will pay, he will give you the goods or sell those goods to you on credit.
But the
And that is
conventional financial banking, the conventional banking system of Nigeria has always supported interest banking, and then one wonder, how is Jaiz making it? How did you make it?
You come to a conventional bank, you need a loan, and then you take money, you borrow money with interest.
Yes.
Now you go to an Islamic bank, you ask for a loan, they ask you, what do you need a loan for? I want to buy a car. So the bank will buy the car and sell to you on credit. And then you
I want to set up a business.
I want to set up a business. Whatever you want to do and what you require in that is what the bank will look at. Is either you need expanding a business, you need to buy machinery, and you don't have the money now, so the bank will buy the machinery and lease to you. What the bank will not do is to give you money, because if it gives you money, it cannot charge because of its calling, because of its the system that it operates. If it gives you money, then you bring back the same amount, and then that is not business, because a business can only thrive if it can make profit. The only way that an Islamic bank will make profit is through selling, leasing, or to partner with you in your business to share your profit or to share your loss. So this is the paradigm shift from just lending. It means you are now at the bank, you are engaged in commercial and as it may be required, industrial activity to be able to earn.
People are saying this, are they doing banking for free? What does non-interest mean?
The bank customers for an Islamic bank are profiled. There are those that they only need to finance a specific asset that they require, like a worker who wants a house. All he needs is the house. So you buy the house and lease to him, and then he pays rentals and eventually buy the bank out and then become an owner, just like the government does owner-occupier house. So that's the leasing option.
Okay.
So in the rent becomes the profit for the bank, while the principal amount you buy the property from the bank. So the bank makes profit through charging rent for the house. If it is something that you consume, like a factory wants to buy raw material, the bank will buy the raw material and add a markup, and then collect payments over a period as agreed. So the markup becomes the profit for the bank. So that's how the operations of an Islamic bank is, and how it makes profit out of its operations. And of course, there is the general other operational services that banks provide, like payment services, the ATMs, the mobile banking, and all those, they get service charge for that.
Yes.
So together, profit made on facilities that they finance, assets that they provide to customers on sale, or asset they provide on lease, or the partnership that they build with customers, where they share the profit or the loss that they make, plus all these service charges. That is how the bank will make money and pay for its expenses.
So let's come back to your education, sir.
Okay.
I would like you to tell us where you started your education.
Well, like any young man in those days, I went to a public school in my village called Garki in Katsina State, Baude local government. That was, I started primary school in 1968 and finished in 1972. I went to, 1975, and I went to secondary school in 1975 and finished my secondary school in 1980. In those days, when you start secondary school, there used to be an aptitude test. I went to a science school at the beginning, or normal secondary school, where you have the sciences, you have the arts, and then they did aptitude tests for us. And
the science school is also in your local government or within your state?
Yes, at the time I was in primary school, the local government itself is Daura local government.
Okay.
But subsequently, I think after 1976, more local governments were made, created. And then subsequently again more were created. So the secondary school I went then was still in Daura local government, which was my local government at the time.
Okay.
And after 2 years, I was transferred to Commercial College Zaria, which is in another local government in the then Kaduna State. So I did my, from then on, I did my education all in Zaria, from Government Commercial College Zaria. I did my WAEC, and then...
Is the same college maintaining the same name now?
Yes.
Okay, Government Commercial College Zaria?
Yes. It's still there.
In which area of Zaria is it?
The Sabongari.
Okay.
Zaria, it's now, I think, Sabongari local government.
Okay.
There used to be CAS, College of Arts and Science Studies, which transformed now to Kaduna State Polytechnic area. So that is why I did
which is the Nuhuba Mali Polytechnic.
Exactly. That is where I did my post secondary school education. Then we used to call it IJMB. Before joining Ahmadu Bello University in 1982 to study accounting. I did my service in Sokoto State.
Okay. Which local government?
In Sokoto town,
okay.
City, the capital. And I did my service with an audit firm, Deloitte. Now it's called Deloitte. Deloitte, then it was Deloitte and Isiche, and it transformed. It's now Deloitte and Associates.
Is it a foreign?
Yes, it's a Nigerian foreign. The name or the franchise is foreign,
okay.
But the staff and management is Nigerian. I started preparing for my ICANN, which is the professional examination from that period. And I did my ICANN in 1987. And
were you retained after your service?
No. During my service period, I got appointment with a manufacturing company in Lagos.
Okay.
So my first working experience was obtained from a manufacturing company. It's at Papa Creek Road.
Were you hired as an accountant?
Yes, I was hired as an account officer at that period because I was not qualified. I did not do the professional qualification, but I had my degree. So myself and our colleagues were in the account department of the manufacturing company. So that's where I did my first professional job as an accountant for about 1.5 years. Now, and it is during that period that I did my ICANN and qualified. Then I joined another audit firm after my qualification that was based in it's a national organization with offices in Lagos, Kaduna, and Kano, Jos.
In all the zonal.
Yes, but I joined the Kaduna office.
Okay.
So I left Lagos.
You came back to Kaduna.
To Kaduna, 1988, and joined the firm of Pananka Foster.
Okay.
That's the name of the firm. It's called Pananka Foster. And I stayed for about 30 months for my articleship. The Institute of Chartered Accountants require you to get a certificate to practice. You need to be mentored by an audit firm. So that is where I stayed until I joined New Nigeria Development Company that's called NNDC in 1991. And I spent another 5 years there before joining Nal Merchant Bank.
So coming back to the joining of the Merchant Bank, it's always difficult starting something new. How challenging was it to work on the project Jaiz?
Jaiz was really a challenging project because first it is novel. It's something new to be actualized, and it was a project that we started from ground zero because you needed to look for participants or people who will invest to do the business, and also to work with government to prepare for regulation and to also educate the people about its acceptance. We went into it because we believe that if Islamic finance is practiced around the globe, Nigeria can also do it and can do it very well.
Is there any highlight of a particular challenge in the course of starting?
Well, like I said, the strongest challenge that we had was getting the appropriate regulation, because even if you have the capital, you have the willingness, and you have the people wanting to patronize the system, if you do not have, because banking is a regulated business, you cannot just go and start banking without getting a license. So the most challenge we had was getting the authorities to understand and to come up with the appropriate regulation. That what took us longer time than any of the challenges. Raising capital was a challenge. Creating awareness was also a challenge. Getting appropriate manpower that will understand the new products and offerings and the new system was also a challenge.
Whenever Jaiz is mentioned, people are like, yeah, this is Islamic. So did you employ Christians into the system? How is the acceptance? Have the Christian clients embrace Jaiz in the beginning?
Islamic finance is just so called because in this era, 20th century to 21st century, it is the Muslims that spearheaded it. But all the religions, all the rebuilt religions also spoke against
interest
because of the possibilities that interest creates in terms of hardship to lenders. In an Islamic finance, all you are doing is you are buying and selling, or you are leasing, and all of this do not have any connotation around specific religion. Let me give you an example of this issue. If I take a loan of 10 million naira to buy a car or to buy anything at an interest rate of 15% per annum, now I will continue to pay 15% per annum so long as that 10 million has not been paid. Now, if I buy a car on credit for 10 million plus 15% markup, which translates to 11,500,000, that's all I have to pay. That's all I have to pay during the life of the contract. So, and I'm given 1 year to pay, and I have to pay that. Now, if something happens outside my power, in a conventional situation, this interest will continue to compound.
Yes.
This one has no opportunity to compound. It cannot compound. So there are real differences that when you identify, then you know that there are some advantages that you have to do non-interest banking or Islamic finance. And that is recognized by Muslims, non-Muslims. And that's why even
it was easy to get customers.
It was easy to get people to understand.
I also asked the question if Jaiz employed other faiths, not just Muslims.
In our employment, we don't ask you. We only want your commitment to the system. And so we have Muslims and non-Muslim workers. We have Muslims and non-Muslim vendors. We have Muslims and non-Muslim shareholders. And so we don't discriminate on the basis of your faith or your tribe or anything. Just like any Nigerian company.
So tell me, what do you consider an accomplishment in your career? Is there any accomplishment you are particularly proud of?
Alhamdulillah, I can say working from project to become CEO of the first Islamic bank in Nigeria. It's humbling, but it's something that I believe one is happy to have come through. It's a great blessing to have not only been in that position, but to also make a great difference in the life of so many in terms of providing them with the leadership that made the institution to grow at more than 30% year on year for the last 4 years, and to also increase the balance sheet size of the organization. The last 6 years by almost 5 times, and to also be able to provide financing support to the rural woman that need only 30,000 naira to do her course. All of this, when you look at, it's humbling, and I'm quite pleased.
Alhamdulillah.
To be part
Looking
of this story.
back at all your accomplishments, is there any advice you would have given your younger self?
Working hard pays, and it's also something that makes you more disciplined, and that as parents, I think we should continuously challenge our children from the beginning, because I grew up as a villager, going to the farm, carrying the wood to come to home. That gave me the toughness to work in between holidays, to sometimes pay for my school fees, and that, yeah, I think it's what I will advise. That I'm not saying that all parents should send their children, the young ones, to go and work, but to not to pamper them, and to tell them the other side of working with their hands. And in this age of information technology, I think we should challenge our children, even at their young age, to know the value of fending for themselves. And it's possible now with internet and programming, software development. Primary, even at primary 6, if they are properly coached, they can start to earn and fend for themselves. So that life of independence and contributing, not taking always, I think it's important to inculcate in our children.
Is there anything you have considered as a failure in your career?
As a human being, you cannot always, for example, when I never failed an exam in my life until immediately after my service. I thought, what is I can just be. And I was that prepared. I started for the exam, and I failed. Hopefully, I had a first class degree in accounting, and I thought, yes, and yes, it was very painful, but it challenged me to work harder. And by the time I sat the second time, I passed. But I don't consider that failure. I thought I can say that was to further reinforce the fact that you need to work hard and prepare for everything, not to take anything for granted.
What would be your advice to young Nigerians that may be looking at this interview?
Unfortunately, for most of our young ones, they are coming at a time when we have a lot of challenges as a nation. But the flip side is that if they focus, there are more opportunities now, because no young man now is constrained about his immediate environment. If you open your eyes and you use the opportunities available, you learn from the whole world today, not from just your own community. So my advice to young people is to be very serious and focused, not to be daunted with the challenges, not to look for shortcuts, which result in people going into drugs, into 419, becoming Yahoo boys or girls. Let's focus, and the sky in 21st century for a young, dedicated person is only the limit.
Is there any legacy you would like to be remembered?
Well, for 17 and a half years, I have worked very hard together with my colleagues who have the same mindset, to maintain very high ethical disposition for Jaiz. And that's something that I cherish, and I also would love that that legacy lives on forever.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very
Really
much for
appreciate
having me.
this.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be with you and to discuss these issues.